Everybody, we want to welcome you to our Bay St. Louis City Council meeting. We're going to all ask you to stand tonight, and before we have invocation and pledge, we want to take a moment of silence in remembrance of our president. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Now, Father, we come before you in the precious name of your Son, Jesus, and we're thanking you that as we are in this holiday season, Father, we're asking that you would watch over our city, watch over our citizens. Father, that your good hand would guide, lead, keep us, protect us, shield us, oh God, keep us from hurt, harm, danger. And Father, as citizens, and Father, as leaders of this city, we need your wisdom and we need your guidance and your knowledge and your understanding, that we might make the correct decisions, Father, even for the future and the present of our city. Father, we ask these blessings in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, once again, we want to welcome you to our City Council meeting December the 4th, 2018. And we have some seniors I hear here tonight. And I think this is going to, you all do this for a class project, am I right? So we want you all to come and state your name. We're going to put these on the minutes so you can take these minutes back to your class and get credit. And this is our senior class of OLA. Am I correct? All right. Well, won't you all come and come to the microphone, and we want you to give us your name. We're glad to have you here tonight. And I wish other schools would do this because I believe that students need to know how the city government work. They need to know who's in their city government. So why don't you come forward and to the mic and just state your name, and we're going to put these on the minutes, and then you can get a copy of these minutes and take it back to your class, okay?
My name's Hannah Patalo.
My name's Madison Ladner.
My name's Samantha Arcana.
I'm Margaret Spencer White.
Katie Albright.
I'm Lizzie Morandi. Wallace Mortellero.
I'm Maggie Kirgeson.
Madison Bradley. Georgia Zenka. Alexis Hollis.
Katie Logan.
All right. And young ladies, again, we're so thrilled and we're so glad to have you in our meeting on this evening. And we wish you just a wonderful holiday season. And thanks again. We welcome you here tonight.
Yes.
All right.
Jeff, can
Yes,
I ask
sir.
him a quick question?
Yes.
Were any of you young ladies on the volleyball team? Could you come up just for a second? We're going to single you out. I don't think a lot of people appreciate what a feat they did a couple of weeks back. Y'all were down 20 to 9. And how many sets were y'all back?
We had lost 2. We lost 3.
3 sets. And y'all came back
Yes, sir.
and beat the other team and won additional sets and won state championship.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank
Well,
you.
congratulations.
Very nice.
All right. Next item on the agenda is our consent agenda. And now, do we need to make, we have 6 items. Do we need to make all these exhibits, Exhibit A, Exhibit B, or just? I do them all as one exhibit. Okay. All right. So,
Yes, sir.
next item on the agenda is our consent agenda. And now, do we need to make all these exhibits, Exhibit A, Exhibit B, or just? Okay. All right. So, next item on the agenda is our consent agenda. And now, do we need to make all these exhibits, Exhibit A, Exhibit B, or just? Item A is the motion to spread the Bay St. Louis certification letter dated December 4, 2018 on the minutes. It says, I certify that the funds are available and make the recommendation to approve and pay the following claims docket. And it's claim docket 12 for 2018, 18-041 in the amount of $373,180.96. Item B is a motion to spread the Bay St. Louis cash balances dated November 30th, 2018 on the minutes. Now, before the docket, we have $2,643,321.88. After the docket is approved, if we don't have any changes, it's going to leave us with $2,270,140.92. The third item is a motion to approve the Bay St. Louis payroll dated November 21st, 2018 in the amount of $148,846.95. Item 4 is a motion to spread the payroll hours dated November 9th, 2018 on the minutes. Item 5 is the spread on the minutes the payroll hours dated November 21st, 2018. And item 6 is a motion to spread the Bay St. Louis revenue and expense report dated November 30th, 2018. Did I miss one of those?
No, you got one.
Okay. All right, on the minutes. So we need a motion to spread this consent, to approve this consent agenda.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Hoffman.
Second.
Second by Councilman Smith. Any discussion? There's no discussion. Let's vote the motion. Motion carries 5-0. Councilman Zimmerman and Councilman Seal is absent. All right, the next item is our city clerk and comptroller's report. And we need a motion to spread Bay St. Louis payroll for an individual dated November the 21st, 2018 in the amount of $1,408 on the minutes.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Smith,
Second.
second by Councilman Noblock. Any discussion? Let's vote the motion. Motion carries 5-0. Next item is a motion to approve the claims docket. If you have it, we'll go through it. All right. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Yes. Say that again, Mr. Mayor.
That Wise, for Wise Carter, you know, the attorney fees,
Uh-huh.
the big one there, $15,280 is for the Bisel Shiro case settlement.
That's the what now?
The Bisel Shiro case we settled,
Okay,
that's attorney fees for that, so that should be it for that.
okay. All right. All right, so we need a motion to approve the docket of claims number 18-041 dated December 4, 2018 in the amount of $373,180.96.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Smith,
I'll second it, but we're gonna have to.
second
we're gonna
by
have to amend
Councilman
the-
DeSalvo with discussion.
Yes, we're gonna have to amend the motion to reflect on, 12717 claim number. Commercial Electric of Long Beach to $131,308.02 out of the municipal reserve.
Okay,
We will not mail the check until we receive the reimbursement from MDOT. They're gonna fast track it, because if you look at the cash balances, it wouldn't work. But they're gonna fast track the payment back to us, hopefully 4 to 5 days, and then we'll mail that check, so. just need to-
page is that on,
Page 3.
Well,
Page 3.
well, what Sissy told me tonight is that, Jason and, Commercial Electric of Long Beach, they're all right with this, and MDOT recommended, that we submit the paperwork, and they're going to turn around and submit the check to us in 3 to 4 days, and then what we'll do, we'll release it to the vendor. So, the vendor's all right with it.
Sissy, do you want this to remain on the docket, or do you want to pull it off and do it in a separate motion?
Whatever you recommend is perfectly fine with us.
I mean, what do you think's more clean? Do you have as far as like a record?
Well, I think it's more clean because the totals are already together with
Okay.
this money in it. So we have to change some totals if you want to take it out.
I
Okay.
think we should leave it on
Well,
the
then,
document.
we can leave it on there and just make sure Lisa
Make sure we
notes
get-
all of this in the minutes, that one item number, what was it, Josh?
12717.
Is
Yeah.
contingent upon,
Right.
Because if we pull it out, then
yeah,
when it comes in, we can't pay it until.
yeah. We'll just say
approve it
releasing the
again.
check is contingent for that item number is contingent
Right.
upon receiving the funds from MDOT.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so, you all amend the motion?
I'm in the motion.
I'm in my second.
Okay. All right, any more discussion? All in favor, vote the motion. Motion carries 5-0. All right, item C is the motion to authorize, DOJ purchase of the lowest and best quote for records management system software for the Bay St. Louis Police Department.
We want to hold that to next meeting so that we all.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. All right, the next item is a motion to approve the purchase of a drone for the Bay St. Louis Building Department to assist with inspections. Do we need, we have some pricing on the drone. Do we need to set an amount to not to exceed, council? We have,
Jeff, these are pretty good prices.
I think they have one for what,
Yeah, I would give them a
$12.49?
little latitude, maybe 1,800, you know, in case
1,800?
there's some shipping
Oh, we're
charges.
talking about 800.
Huh?
That's what we're talking about.
No.
They have, the highest one I see on there is $1,879.
Yeah.
So we need a motion, and if you're including your motion, giving them amount, not to exceed.
Where's the money gonna come from? Yeah.
Is it, Sissy, is it in the, does the building fund have money in there?
No, they currently did not budget for this purchase for this year. They budgeted for the purchase of several chairs, and they've already expended that money, so they do not have any capital money for this, so they would require a budget amendment if the council approves.
So
the
where we
purchase.
gonna get it from?
General fund.
We could get it from.
General fund?
Yeah, we could get it from another place, but we're
Community
gonna have
fund?
to actually do a budget amendment.
The community center?
So we get it from the general fund, you say we gotta do a budget amendment?
Right, we just need to increase the capital budget by whatever dollar amount that the council has authorized.
Do we need to do that before we get it?
Yes, I would. I would make
Okay.
that as part of your motion.
Okay.
And Sissy, do you know if there's any cost associated with, I know you have to get certain certifications with the, to be able to fly these things. So I want to make sure that before this thing goes in the air, we have all the certifications that we need to be able to operate.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone else is more of an expert of that. I do not.
Yeah, I
know
spoke to
anything.
Ricky about it.
Gary knows.
He has to get, his
FCC.
FAA certificate license, yeah, there's a process that you go through and you tell them what you're using it for and all of that. So I just want to make sure that all of that is put into place before this thing ever comes out of the box.
Well,
Yes.
and before we authorize it, can we look at E also?
Yes.
Seems like this amending the budget for that as well, about the same amount.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, we need to actually increase that about $300 because there's text that they need for the building department that they didn't put in here.
Yeah, that's
So
an ADA
yes, that's correct.
book and another book for
Yes,
building.
that's correct.
So what you're saying, raise it to about 2,200 is,
Well,
you're saying you need $300 more, right?
2,200 on that one,
For
yes,
E,
For E,
and how much you wanna go in, drone?
what did you say, Gary, about
I would give him about 1,800. Is there another one you said for 1,800?
Well, that's the highest one I see, 1870.
No, they had one in here for like 25,000. I was like,
yeah, that's
25,000.
ridiculous. No,
We're not gonna get that one.
I did a lot of research on this, and that Mavic 2 Zoom quadcopter is really what they need. They can zoom in on
Right,
the
right.
roofs.
they're gonna need that. So
Keep
we're
them
looking
off
at
ladders.
purchasing the drone and then authorizing, say, 2,100, 2,141,
Showing up 22.
about 22, yeah.
22
For the
and
computer
2,
equipment and the
22
books.
2?
Yes, sir, 22. Yes, ma'am. Well, whatever for the drone, and then,
That's what I'm saying, how much you want on the drone?
Wait,
well, Gary said, how much, Gary?
This package has multiple batteries, and it's the first one that comes up, and it has blades and a kit. But I thought there was one with a hard drive to download the information into the computer system. Yeah, the only one we can do is the one that he's supplied here.
So the drone's 1,800?
wait, hold up.
Yeah, it's 1629.98,
All
but
right,
I
so
would add a little bit extra for whatever shipping.
16,
Mr. Noblock, hold up. The two back pages with this drone, one is priced at $19,687,
so that's out of the question.
and the other one is priced at $21,000.
No, the one I'm talking about's $1,629. It's the first one that's coming up on my.
1,629.
Yes,
Okay. What makes these other ones so much?
So they have infrared.
they have infrared and all that kind of stuff. We were
Okay.
thinking about that, using that for the police department. I didn't know what the cost was for the infrared, but that's just
Okay.
outrageous.
At some point, it might even be a thing for the fire department. If you got a house fire and you want to see where the hot spots are from
Right.
up.
And for the harbor, it's
Yeah.
got multiple uses. So 1629 for that, and then,
2,200.
our first purchase.
So 18, you say 1,800 and 2,200, 4,000.
yes, about 4,000.
About
4,000.
4,000.
That would cover everything, yeah.
Take out of general fund, the building department to make these two purchases.
That's a motion, Councilman Hoffman.
Did they already have a motion
Gary,
on
you
the
made a
table? or-
motion.
I'll make the
4,000.
motion.
4,000.
I'll make a motion to amend the budget. I'll make a motion to amend the budget in the amount of $4,000 to pay for this drone with not infrared, I'm sorry, with zoom lenses, and the price of, and give them $1,800. 18.
What was 1629?
Well, we just rounded it off to 18.
Okay,
Round
round
it
it
off
off
to
at 1,800 for new monitors, and an additional $300 for some
Next.
books they need for building.
I think what y'all, Sissy, correct me here, but I think they just need to make a motion transferring those funds because they're all underneath purchasing laws. So they just need to increase their budget so they can go make these purchases, correct? Yes, I don't think you have to actually go through and authorize all these payments. You just need to give them the funds to make the payments.
so we just need to make a motion.
I'll amend the motion to
Based on her
authorize.
making the amendment to the budget, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And we're going to take the money from
general fund.
General funds.
general fund, okay. I'll make a motion that we amend the budget, transferring $4,000 in the general fund to cover these costs for the building department, and an amount of $4,000.
Second?
All right, there's a motion by Councilman Knobloch, second by Councilman Smith. Any discussion? No discussion, vote the motion. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, on the ordinances, there's a motion, discussion to consider Bay St. Louis court fines for violations of city ordinance in Article 5, stop and standing of parking.
Yeah, what we're gonna do is, I've gotten with the city attorney and, talked to our court department, regarding the ordinances for parking in the city. What we need to do, and after talking to the city attorney, is we actually need to come up with an ordinance and a fine schedule for parking violations. So what we're gonna do is probably sit down and come up with a ordinance for a fine schedule for city court, so we can start, doing parking enforcement. You know, we got a problem downtown, with some parking and stuff, and we want to start doing that with our city ordinances. And to do that, we've got to have fines set by the council for those violations. So basically, I put it on there tonight just to let y'all know that we are going to be proposing an ordinance, and it'll be for something to look at, but you guys can set the prices, whatever you feel is fair. I can give you some examples of what other cities are doing,
Yeah.
so you'll have something to compare it to.
Yes.
So we won't have to revisit this until you bring us back some more information.
Yeah, I'll bring you back a whole ordinance that y'all can look at and pass, but I just want to make sure that y'all are aware of where we're going and what we're doing with the city ordinances as far as parking go. And there's quite a few ordinances on there, and I'll give you an example for what Gulfport does. The majority of their ordinances for city parking violations are all set at $25, and I think the more expensive ones are like handicap parking in fire lane and stuff like that, so.
Okay.
Can I
All
ask
right.
a question?
Yes, sir.
Chief,
Sir.
what about the parking that's going on with the Cure property right now, and then next to, Dan B's and stuff on that?
You're talking about actually on the property
Yes,
itself?
yes.
Yeah.
Are we gonna be able to start?
So that is all private property, the
Uh-huh.
Cure property. So anytime a vehicle and like when they cross over the sidewalk and pull behind Dan B's,
Right.
all that is not addressed in city ordinance because it's all on private property or state property or whatever.
Well, the issue that I have with that is they're tearing up our sidewalks.
Correct.
And
Now,
that's
the
city
yeah,
property.
that's the cut through. So what we need to do is we need to either decide, are we gonna build a cut through for those guys like a normal house would have when they put in a driveway? Or we're gonna
Right.
build a cut through so they don't tear up the sidewalk? Or we're just gonna prevent them from driving over the sidewalk, and to do that, we'd have to set up some kind of barrier or something, because they're just, if you put up a sign, they're just gonna move the sign, drive it if it's a movable sign, so you have to put something that's more permanent. That's our options. Yeah, because, you know, it's not a problem for them to drive across the sidewalk as long as they're not parked on it, or as long as they're not driving down the sidewalk. But everybody who has a driveway drives across the sidewalk to get into their private property. Essentially, that's what they're doing, but there's not a cut through, so with that high bump, with the heavy
Right.
vehicle, it's
Right.
cracking the sidewalk.
It's absolutely, yeah.
So we either need to put a cut through for them, or put up some kind of barrier where they can't, you know, a permanent sign where they can't go through there.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Public forum, Sam Moore.
We on? Yeah. Now, I'm Sam Moore, Ward 6, Bay St. Louis, and tonight, my neighborhood is what I'm going to speak about, Garden Isle, which is, that area is one of the fastest growing as far as the city is concerned, and a lot of new homes. But of course, y'all have heard me complain so many times that you probably turning pages and not listening. But nevertheless, one particular complaint that we've been airing for some time is the fact that Skyline Drive, one of our more populated streets, we've been asking for that to be paved over and raised so that high water and flooding can't get to it. It's been a constant complaint, and thank goodness, I've been talking to our supervisor, Scotty Adam, for some time now. We've been talking about that particular thing, the fact that we don't have, we have a lot of dirt roads still in Garden Isle, and matter of fact, to my knowledge, since Katrina, there has not been a single road paved by the city of St. Louis in that area. Yesterday, as I sometimes do, I attended our supervisors meeting, and it was very informative. And finally, for the first time, I want to take this time to thank personally Scotty, Adam, and any of those other supervisors that had anything to do, but particularly Scotty, with stepping up on our behalf, our behalf being the city of St. Louis and us people from Garden Isle, arranging to award the city of St. Louis close to $25,000 to do their share of repaving and raising up the city, the street of Skyline, so that it won't be under such flooding conditions for those residents out there much longer. I guess what I should do is, since Gary is councilman at large and probably deals with more of the supervisors than anybody else, I would ask, has the council and the city fulfilled their part of the obligation and allocated the balance of the matching funds past that allocation, so that we can go ahead and match the county's funds and get that Skyline raised up and where it should be, and make those people out there happy and glad they're paying their taxes. Has that ordinance, or has that motion been passed that you have?
I know the county has $23,000 of road and bridge money set aside.
Right.
That they usually release to us, and all we have to do, I believe, Josh, is take a motion to authorize that payment, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you know, because I don't know if the city has addressed their part of the thing or not, but if not, well, I would ask you please to address it as soon as possible, because so that you can match what the county has done and try to get that particular aspect of our problem taken care of, and then we'll talk about dirt roads later.
Yeah.
I suppose.
It was already approved on August 21st, because I had a meeting with the supervisors before that, and what the deal was, they had $25,000 that was going to be used on Dunbar for that sinkhole that they held in reserve when they paid us our road and bridge money. So I went to them and asked them to do a couple of projects with me in Ward 6, and the motion was to approve the contribution of the $25,000 that they already held for Dunbar, because we didn't need it for Dunbar, to do Avenue B bulkhead repair, Skyline Drive improvements to raise it, and installing guardrails, and Tahiti Street improvements with the Hancock County Board of Supervisors paying an additional $33,000. So we allowed them to keep the $25,000. They already have it. That motion was made by myself, and No Block seconded on August 21st. So I've been working on that project for a while with them. So, but yeah, it's all approved and
honestly,
ready to go.
No offense, but that project has been being worked on now for a number of years.
I don't want no credit, Mr. Moore. I just want to
yeah,
take care of my people.
And so
you don't have to.
you know, all I ask is hopefully it'll be followed through with, and those people's complaints can stop. And I appreciate it. Y'all take care.
Okay, so that motion has already been made, and it's already been approved.
Was it made to transfer the funds?
Well, hold up. So
They already had them.
For the Dunbar project, which didn't get used, that ended up being done in-house, and they just held those funds, so they still have those funds. They never turned them over to the city.
Okay.
So the county never sent it over to the city?
Correct.
Okay. So,
Yes.
so we don't have to do anything if it's been approved?
No.
No, everything's been
Yeah,
approved and
we
taken
hope
care
it's
They
of.
hope to get started
Resolution.
on that after the first of the year, along with the other, some of the other streets and all that they do.
Yeah.
So now do we have a timetable of any kind, since it's all been approved?
They're waiting on stock still. He's hoping maybe the second to third week of December, so hopefully here soon. They just waiting on him because he's the one that's got the contract price for tonnage asphalt with the county.
Very good, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go to our planning and zoning items. The first item under planning and zoning is Melvin Stacy, and it's an application for a special subdivision plat approval and a variance to the zoning ordinance. The applicant is asking to subdivide this parcel into two new parcels. Parcels A and B will need a variance of 3,525 square feet, resulting in a total of 8,475 square feet to the lot areas. Parcel A will need a variance of 24.57 feet, resulting in a total of 75.43 to the lot width. Parcel B will need a variance of 25 feet, resulting in a total of 75 feet to the lot width. The property in question is located at 82 Fiber Street, parcel number 136L-0-37-039.000, lots 31 through 33, Block D, Jordan River Isles, and the property is on R1 Single Family District. Is there anybody here tonight that would like to speak on behalf of this applicant?
Here, my name's Anthony Pace, and just here on behalf of the applicant. We had made this application of planning and zoning, and basically taking a 150-foot wide lot and splitting it into
Subdivide.
two equal lots.
Okay.
75 feet.
All right, anybody here that would like to speak against this? Anybody else would like to speak? What's the pleasure of the council?
I'll make a recommendation to make a recommendation to follow planning and zoning's recommendation to approve this variance.
Councilman Knobloch makes a motion to follow the recommendation of the P&Z to approve this application, second by Councilman Smith. Is there any discussion? There's no discussion, let's vote the motion. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. All right, I'm gonna accuse myself on the next two items, and Vice President Smith will handle these two items.
Ms. Lisa, can we get the record to reflect? Is that correct? Thank you. Item B, application for special subdivision plat approval and variance to the zoning ordinance. The applicant is asking to subdivide the parcel of land into 4 new parcels of land. The property in question is located at the corner of Turner Street and 8th Street. Four? Is there anything else, anybody else who would like to speak on this issue?
Yeah, Rodney Cord, 517 to Moundsville. What I have is a parcel of land. Do y'all have 300 and, I think it's 304 feet, plan on subdividing? I'd like to subdivide into 4 parcels of 3 parcels being 10,750 square feet and 1 parcel being 11,800 square feet parcels with 75-foot front. The corner lot being 82 feet, and all of the depth of all 4 properties are going to be 144 feet. What I did is I have pictures of the land that's adjacent, and I wanted to pass out.
Thank you.
What this is land, I circled with a blue circle, that the land that's in question. And what it is across the street, directly across the street from the property is a 50-foot parcel. That's a legal parcel. And then the land that's adjacent to it, that's on the corner, is exactly what I'm trying to do, is subdivide into 82.4 feet, which is the corner lot, and a 75-foot parcel, which is the exact dimensions that I'm trying to subdivide. So there's 3 parcels exactly in the same block on the same street that I'm trying to subdivide. So on the opposite corner, which is adjacent to it. So there's something directly on the same street that I'm trying to subdivide that's exactly what I'm trying to do. What I did is also today I went and took pictures of the houses that's exactly across the street from the property that I'd like to build on. What I did is I went to the 4 properties there's 2 parcels of land that's across the street from the property, and there's one on the opposite corner and one next door to the property. If you look on the picture, which is the property that's across the street on Turner Street, was built in, I think, 1994, and it's right at 2,000 square feet. The property that's on the adjacent corner to mine, which is property number 2, was built in 1950, and it's I think 1,300 square feet. The property that's directly across the street from the property, which is property number 3, it was also built in 1950, and it's right at 1,800 square feet. And property number 4, which is right next to the property, is built in 1991, which is another parcel, another property that's 1,300 square feet. What I'm saying is I'm trying to build 4 brand-new houses, and there's no houses that are brand new in that area. All the houses are older houses in the area, and I'm just trying to bring up the neighborhood in that area. And I think what we're doing here, building on, trying to subdivide it, and all we're asking for is a 75-foot front variance and very minimal on lot square footage. So, in the city, I don't know if any of y'all been by the property, the city in the last 3 weeks just cleaned the ditches. And they did a great job, the city did a great job, and thank y'all for, they cleaned the ditch on 8th Street and they cleaned the ditch on Turner Street. So, and they did a great job.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Ford? Yes, please. Identify yourself, please.
Bush Darby, live on the corner of Turner and Bismarck. And I have a couple of questions. One is, the houses behind your, in that same amount of land, isn't there 3 homes? There's one behind your property on Bismarck. In that the space that you want to put 4 houses, aren't there 3? Is that correct? Yes. Okay, so you want to take and put 4 where the existing homes have 3 existing ones. Yeah. And the other question is, the houses that you talked about, were they built before this particular ordinance and these numbers were put in effect? Okay, so they didn't have those rules.
I'm facing 8th Street, I'm not facing this.
Okay, so the houses across the street from your property on 8th, they were built before they had these ordinances?
I would think so.
Yeah, I think all this is 2010 we're
Yeah,
going off of.
This is 2010, sir.
Yes, sir,
These
2010
ordinance.
building code.
Okay, so I kind of think comparing those to yours is different just because they didn't have ordinances. What they did was legal at this time. No, I know, but you want to change these
You
houses
need to
that
have
were
him
built
address us
with
now.
the existing ordinance.
You need to have him
You want
address
to
us.
change that, substantial,
He needs to
17
address
feet
us.
in one
Yes, sir. Sir,
property width, right?
sir, you need to address the council, please.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, well, I had some questions.
Yeah,
I understand.
Just ask him to us and
Just
we'll
ask
have
him
him
to us.
answer.
17, if I'm correct, it's picking out one spot. He's asking you to allow him to make it 17 feet less than what the rules are.
Correct.
I think that's pretty substantial. My first house in Metairie, we had a 6-foot, you had to build 6 foot from the property line. I don't think we want our houses in Bay St. Louis, our neighborhoods, to look like that. So I request that you deny.
Thank you, sir.
Deny his request.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Identify yourself, please.
Jerry Ulrich, I live at 316 Bismarck Street,
Okay, Jerry.
right behind the property that Mr. Core wants to develop.
Yes, sir.
I have 2 people that give me letters to speak on their consent, Mr. Cleveland Williams, which is my next door neighbor, also borders to the property, and Ms. Barbie Bassett, which owns 2 parcels, 2 houses down from me, within less than a block of that property. I feel as the Darbys do, we don't want New Orleans, okay? And Rodney showed you pictures of what's across the street from me,
Yes.
but he did not show you what's behind the property, okay?
Yes, sir.
So, we're opposed to it. All these people, everyone in the neighborhood I've spoken to is opposed to it.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. Please step forward, identify yourself.
Yes, sir. My name is Doreen Evans, and I will say, I have been in my house almost 30 years now. Before that area was actually kind of in infancy, being annexed by the city, and it was all county back then. And in 1995, I surveyed personally 74 houses being built after the casino in the radius of Old Spanish Trail, Suby Street, 10th Street, and Turner Street. I live on Bismarck Street. My property runs off of Turner. I will give you some figures, nothing elaborate, no pictures. I informally drove the neighborhood, and between 10th, Hugo, 9th, Bismarck, 8th, Victoria, 7th, Gladstone, Keller, and Suby, conservatively, there are at least 20 properties that are street to street. In that same area, there are at least 14 that are either double lot or triple lot. Obviously, I can't trespass over fences to do measurements, but if you're not familiar with the neighborhood, I encourage you to drive through it. Obviously, based on what is already existing, my house was built prior to Camille, by the way. What he's proposing is not compatible with the neighborhood and the pre-existing homes. Drainage is woefully inadequate. Sewage is horrible during a regular rainstorm, not a tropical storm or a hurricane. We have had incidences where you can't get by 8th Street or Bismarck Street. I cannot flush my commode. The lift station on Suby Street goes down. The lift station by the pole yard has a wonderful blue truck that is sucking whatever out of it as we speak. There's another lift station by the tractor supply that funnels the water out under 90, and that goes online half the time as well. So I enjoy not being able to flush my commode during a heavy rainfall. Also, we've had water main breaks repeatedly on 9th Street. Turner Street is crumbling. We do have speeding. It's become a dragway down Turner Street and Bushlog Street. It's become a high-traffic area with no speed bumps. There's a high risk of accidents. There are no sidewalks. And there's no room for foot traffic. And in this day and age, we have larger SUVs, F-150s, that were not on these particular roads that date back from the 40s. In addition, no disrespect to Mr. Core, but I believe at one time he tried to develop a subdivision on Highway 603, which would be on the left side if you were heading towards the interstate, where he laid some pre-structure, and that was abandoned and never completed. And last and not least, the main drainage, unless water goes upstream like salmon and not downstream, that water is going to funnel through the ditch that runs behind my backyard, which is that big culvert that goes through Turner Street and exit out on Bush Log. And when I last did a hydraulic study in 1995, it had a CFF of 321 coming in off of Turner Street and 67 exiting on Bush Log. And I'm not a mathematician, but when you put something big into something small, it backs up. Which means I've lost chunks of my property. And this is a letter from FEMA that I have. I'm in a special flood pool for repetitive flooding, although I do not live on any rivers, waterways, or the beachfront. And I actually spend more money for flood insurance than people that do live on the waterways. And you might ask, well, Miss Evans, if you are so disgusted, why do you not sell your property? Answer is, the rates that I pay go with the property for whatever person might want to enjoy paying those rates. So I respectfully request that this project be denied.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here who would like to address this issue? Mr. Core?
Yes, I have a young lady here in the audience that would plan, we would like, you know, if this goes through, I have her house plans here I'd like to show you. They're trying to compare small houses. Her house plans are 2,200 square feet. I'd like to at least show the council these.
All right. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that since we're short on some councilmen that might have some interest in this, that we table it to the next meeting.
Have a motion to table from Mr. Hoffman? Oh, excuse me, from
No block.
Mr. Noblock. second?
Just move it to the next meeting till Councilman and his ward is out tonight, so, I'm good with that, to move it, I'll second it.
Okay, second. Vote the motion? All right. We'll see you next time. Yes.
These pictures.
Next on the agenda,
Notes on the back of this one.
application for special subdivision plat approval and variance to the zoning ordinance. The applicant is asking to subdivide this parcel of land to 2 new parcels. The property in question is located at 550 State Street. Do I have anyone here who would like to talk on this? For or against? Okay. All right. This was approved by P and Z by 4-0. Do I have a motion?
Motion to follow P and Z's recommendation and approve.
DeSalvo,
Second.
second by Mr. Hoffman. All in favor? Passes 4-0. Yes, sir.
Before we go to the engineer's report, we have Boy Scouts right here. Want to acknowledge them. With now, you all received merit badges. Are you? Did you all receive them? Are you?
No, these young gentlemen are working towards citizenship.
Would you come to the microphone?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
Everyone else, I'm John Ashel. I'm the Assistant Scout Leader for Troop 381 here in Bay St. Louis. The 2 young gentlemen here are working for their Citizenship and Community Merit Badge, which is an Eagle rank requirement for them to work through. So they're working through various processes, and one of which is have to observe a city council meeting.
All right. Well, we'd like them to come and introduce themselves to us.
My name is William Asherall.
All right. Well, William, we're glad to have you tonight.
I'm Fulton Asherall.
What's your name again?
Fulton Asherall.
Well, we're glad to have you, sir. All right. And good luck, okay?
Good luck.
Good luck.
All right. Jason is not here. Okay.
You don't have anything new to come out, just,
So he's still working on
updates. Yeah.
Kathy Street, that culvert back
Yes.
there. All right. Again, if you just relate to him to just give me a few days' notice, and once you get the grade shot, then we'll go over there and get that done for him. All right. All right. Council, new and old business. We have abandonment of city right-of-way between lots 121 and 123 located at 300 Boardman, landowner William E.
Besh.
Besh.
Yes.
All right. Yes, sir.
I was just going to ask if you had any questions that I could help you with. And considering this, over a year ago, previous council referred this abandonment, approved it, I believe, and referred it to the then city attorney, Mr. Rafferty, who neglected to act upon it. City clerk helped me look up the previous minutes, and I think it was postponed by Mr. Rafferty several times. We're just reintroducing the request that the city abandon that particular proposed street extension. It's between Boardman Avenue and what used to be an undeveloped strip of land behind my home. And then they developed that entire area, essentially cutting off a need for that street extension. I've been in that house for 34 years, twice, the first house and the second house. And I've maintained that strip and used it as a driveway. The city still has easement, of course, to go right through that driveway to service that drainage canal that runs behind Boardman Avenue from the beach to Dunbar. And the previous council only request was that that easement be a continuing part of that abandonment. As I remember, they were going to structure it such that no gate of any kind could be put across the original proposed street, but would essentially turn it over to me on one side at 121 and to M.J. Gleber, who at the time owned the other lot, 123. Since that time, Mr. Gleber has sold me that lot, and I intend to build a house for my son there. So I was just requesting that the city abandon the property, and I'll continue to maintain it and abide by whatever easement they require.
Do you want me to
Okay,
speak on
Ms.
this real
Heather,
quick?
you have any?
Okay, so what I know about this is Lisa hasn't been able to find anywhere that formal action was taken. I don't know if maybe it was discussed, but we can't find that the road was ever actually abandoned. So with abandonments, a couple of things. One, the mayor and I have kind of been talking, and we've talked here as a council too, about what we need our ordinance as far as abandonments go is very outdated. And so we need to kind of fine tune that before I think we move forward with any new abandonments. But something particular about this property of land is that it actually, the road, there's your piece of property, and then there's, if I'm looking at this map right, there's your piece of land, and then there's lot, I think it's 123, and then the road kind of goes right in the middle of it, and the problem is that it backs up to somebody's property that's on Oaks Boulevard. So that particular person, as it is now, they technically have access out the back of their land, which I'm assuming they do not use.
Correct.
But it's theirs, so we would probably need to make sure and get some sort of formal consent from that homeowner, because what you would be doing if you abandon that chunk of, and I think you and I have spoke before, but I didn't have this in front of me.
Correct.
When you, okay. And so if you abandon that, then that homeowner, even if they do not use it, technically right now to their lot of land, they have front and back access. They will no longer have that rear access to their land. Even if they're not using it right now, it is declared a road that could be used.
Well, that rear access would be impeded by a 6-foot deep ditch. I understand your premise, and if that's required, that's fine.
And the reason I have to bring that up is the city could be liable if they abandon something and it diminishes value to a piece of property, the city can be liable for that.
Oh.
So that would be my fear with this one. I think we would just need to get that landowner to consent and agree to this whole process to make sure that they're okay with it.
Well, again, the way I remember it, and I thought it was done until I went and looked at the city maps again, and the previous council was going to require that any easement still be in effect, and that, if they want to do that to give this person the access to their fence through that ditch, I would have no objection. To be perfectly honest with you, it's more of a service to the city than it is to me. I've been maintaining the property for 34 years. I'll continue to do that. I mean, physically, I don't believe the city's ever going to open that street. There would be no reason to. So whatever it is that needs to be done, I'm good with that.
Well, could you all, Mr. Mayor, could you all look into this here in the next meeting? Ms. Heather, you bring us back a recommendation, what we need to do and on this here?
Well, yes, my recommendation at this point is for the mayor and I to continue to, and hopefully in the next couple of months, decide exactly what our road abandonment process is going to be. Right now, it's extremely, extremely vague. to figure out what the process is going to be, and, Besh or Bosch? Besh. If you want to talk to that other homeowner and, you know, start doing the legwork on that end, that would be in your court.
Sure, I'll be glad to. And then just notify me when you want me to come in again and discuss it, and I'll be glad to.
And what
And
ward
I
is
don't-
this in?
I'm sorry, sir?
What ward is this in?
Ward 1, Doug Seal, he's
Okay.
aware of it.
Doug's aware, okay,
Yeah,
Yes,
and
sir.
Doug and I have talked about this.
okay. All right.
Thank
So,
you.
what,
So, leave it with Lisa, that way we'll.
She
have
has it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And there are, and I don't know, I guess you filled them out way back when, but there's, even though it's not current, there are formal applications to
Yeah,
fill,
there was a
so,
request for abandonment we had to fill out.
yes, and then I think you put all the properties, and so that's, you know, as far as you moving forward, if you could get that and then get written statements or something from all your homeowners around you saying that they don't have property problems with it, we probably can move forward with it faster.
So the only ones that would be impacted would be the house behind us, right?
That's correct.
On Oak.
Well,
Oak Street.
your lot, and then who owns, my chart here doesn't say,
123 I own now as well.
so you own that one. So,
Right.
yeah, so it would just be the lot behind you.
Okay.
That's
Well, I'll
correct.
make contact with them, and I may need to fill out a new request for abandonment. because I
For
don't know
sure.
what I paid
Let-
for it.
Yeah, let's not go with any of the old
Okay.
stuff.
and I'll touch bases with Mr. Seal, and, maybe you can touch bases with him and
They've been
See
good about
when-
keeping me
yeah,
abreast of
when-
everything. I just wanted to make an appearance, put a face with a name.
Okay.
I appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Could,
thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Could we possibly put this on like the February 5th agenda, just so we have a reminder that,
Well, what I do, I'll touch base with Mr. Seal and
Yeah.
see when he.
I mean, just for all the ordinance process that they're gonna be
Yeah.
working on that way.
That ordinance
'Cause
process
we-
needs to be changed.
Sometimes it's hard to come back to stuff if we don't have reminders, my point, because I got a few abandonments in my area people wanna
Okay.
do, so maybe February 5th meeting, we
That'll
can
be fine,
just
yeah.
get an update and keep track, that way we know.
Lisa, would you put at, abandonment ordinance, February 5th meeting? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Right.
President.
Mr. DeSalvo, new old business?
603 lights, Mayor. You almost got all that?
Yeah, they're supposed to be setting those 4 poles. That should get them back up and running. Contact switch around Cousins in that area,
Okay.
supposed to be replaced, so that should be all we need to get them all going.
Okay.
Hopefully, they replaced the poles this week on that. They got caught with the rain and all a couple times, they can't get in that ditch digging.
Okay. Only other thing is, Mayor wrote me earlier, we looked at a few of the issues that you're gonna address next week, so, that's it. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. DeSalvo. Mr. Smith?
Fine, thank
Mr. Hoffman? Mr. Knobloch?
Just a couple of things. Is the hot patch machine running?
Is it what?
The hot patch machine?
Yeah.
I hit a pothole on Washington Street the other day, and it just rattled my truck. You and I talked about it's like the 600.
Right.
I hit
Right
that
off
same
the
pothole.
Orange Trail.
You hit it too?
Yes.
I did, I just bought a brand new
Yeah,
set
they
of
got-
tires
I think
on it
that's-
2 days
They
ago.
have to dig that out and see where the sinkhole is on that.
I thought it was just a utility cut.
Maybe it's
Or
that
a
one,
sewer
yeah,
line
the
or something?
sinkhole also.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it was deep.
But anyway, I don't want anybody to damage their cars on that. And, but I see a good job on off Old Spanish Trail. All the ditches are clean. The big one by Larry's house. That's nicely cut. Is there any schedule about ditch cleaning citywide?
It hadn't been put together. They still doing some grass, trying to finish up Ward 6 grass cutting for the year. Hopefully turn that over to the contractor first of the year, and they'll come out with areas of ditch digging.
And is everybody all caught up on the training for that street sweeper?
We did, we had another training. I think there's one more training coming.
Good.
A lot of positive feedback on that.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of calls.
Again, they're supposed to make Main Street downtown for the parade and everything, and supposed to hit Washington down through that area and then start working, wherever they can.
So with the training, when is the next one set up for?
I think the guy's coming back next week.
Once you,
they was-
because I was gonna bring that up tonight with Washington, once you let them train,
Oh, yeah.
once you let them do Washington, if you would.
We got somebody that can, we got a few people that can run it, that's been through it.
Okay.
I think they sent 4 or 5 the first time, and there's just some more training they had on it.
Tell them watch out for that pothole.
I know Longfellow,
Might be why they stayed off of it.
I see Longfellow needs to be swept, and
Yeah.
Pecan Park's got a lot of debris and things, but I know y'all get to that once it starts operation. Is there a way we can get it on a schedule so each ward knows when they're gonna be passing through so people can move their cars and stuff?
Maybe we can post that on the website if we get a
Kinda like trash
set
pickup.
schedule. Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Knobloch. Mayor's report?
We good.
You good, okay.
Just a quick suggestion on that, as far as street sweeper goes. I was just thinking, the other day, the grapple truck came through and picked up a whole bunch of stuff. And then, obviously, you've got a mess still sitting there, half on the street, half off, of just the, small stuff they can't pick up. It gets blown around and everything, so if the street sweeper could kinda go behind them a day or so, that'd probably be a good idea as far as the schedule goes.
Okay.
Also, Mr. Mayor, if they can, I know the last time we went to office, Pot said he was ordering the lights, if you can, just see when they're gonna come in, and, they took our clock, maybe he's gonna get another one, and go ahead and get us a clock again.
Miss Lisa, did they order us a new clock?
I'm not sure Mr. Coleman did, but I didn't get a chance to, see if he'd actually ordered it.
Right.
I knew there was one that was found that he said was going to be big enough, so.
I think Councilman DeSalvo has one sitting on
Yeah, huh?
We can just use that one.
Got one at my house, been there for a year, haven't hung it, might as well bring it.
All right, attorney's report.
I have, I need a motion to approve the resolution of the mayor and the city council approving and authorizing the form of and execution of an equipment lease purchase agreement between the city and the First National Bank. And what this is this is authorizing and improving the lease purchasing for the street sweeper, and the closing on that is set for Thursday morning at 9 a.m.
Okay,
So this is all the document that, that is needed to make that closing happen.
for the street sweeper.
And it's at the same rate we had originally agreed with. They helped study.
Okay, all right, we need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Hoffman,
Second.
second by Councilman Knobloch. Any discussion? And this motion is to solidify the agreement for the street sweeper. Okay? All right, if there's no discussion, let's vote the motion. Motion carries 5-0.
I have nothing else unless somebody has something.
Nothing else? All right, good. All right, and there's no more public forum. All right.
The only thing, Mayor, you may have more information on this. Someone passed this along to me today. It was very late this afternoon, so I didn't have any time to confirm it. But did Michael Nikes pass away? Has anyone heard that the former Chancery Clerk, Hancock County? No?
Yeah, Dave.
Gotcha.
The lawyer.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Lives right there on corner, across the Lowell Street on the
When
left-hand
he
side.
talked about the first, it made me think of Micah, his son, so that was the name I was actually given, but it was David Nikes. Good. And I must have missed the one.
Okay. All right, we need to,
Yes, go ahead.
all right, we need to approve the minutes, motion to approve the minutes for City Council meeting of November 6, 2018, and November 20th, 2018.
Motion?
So there's a motion by Councilman Smith, second by Councilman Hoffman. Any discussion? No discussion. Let's vote the motion. Motion carries 5-0. All right, we don't need to close our executive session tonight.
I do have one question for you for Mr. Core. He asked, and I didn't know the answer. When y'all tabled that planning and zoning issue earlier,
Yes.
On the
or
what
y'all-
now?
the
We
P and Z issue that was tabled earlier?
Yes.
Did y'all set that, because I know we usually only do P and Z at the first meeting of the month, so are they coming back
Next meeting.
in
Next meeting.
January or next meeting?
The
So in
next
2
council
weeks?
meeting.
The next council?
Next council meeting in 2 weeks. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
Right.
Next council meeting.
Yes, yes, we did. Since there were only 4 of us.
All right. So there's no need for a closed executive session tonight. Miscellaneous items, harbor report. Did we get a gaming and sales tax report this time?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Okay. All right.
It's, every time sales tax increases, gaming goes down, just stays flat.
I thought the gaming would
No
go up
big
since
gains.
they allow sports betting.
Didn't look like it.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, one other thing, just to remind if everybody's savvy, it's 200-year bicentennial for the city. Parade
Yes.
probably start around 2 o'clock up at the corner of Main Street. Come down Main the second to the shoe fly by Old City Hall, and ceremonies be there. Backup plan, bad weather, we'll probably hold it in here.
In here?
In here for bad weather.
Okay.
So, kicking off around 2 o'clock parade, I think they talking about leaving about 2:30 from up on the beach in the parade, coming on down and meeting over there. So,
All right, and we
all can attend.
We also got the new employee schedule, holiday schedule, has been amended to be in compliant with state law. December 26th will no longer be considered a city holiday. It's been traded with December 31st. So the remainder employee holidays for 2018 is December 24th, 2018, December 25th, 2018, and December 31st, 2018, and also January 1st, of course, 2019 will also be considered as an employee holiday. If that's it, we need a motion to adjourn, if that's all council business.
Motion.
All right, motion by Councilman Smith, second by Councilman DeSalvo. Meeting is adjourned.
The next,
Ms.
You are-
Patello.
Sir.
Ms. Patello.
Ma'am, the next meeting's the 18th, okay?
Yeah.
18th, same spot, same time.
They still not, they both
Got some
still
candy over here, girl. I know you coming.
All right. You got a soccer game tonight? Tonight.
Congratulations, that was a heck of a win. I was following.
Congratulations. All right, you're welcome. Congratulations. All right, congratulations. All right. And you all can pick up the minutes. They should be ready